Was America's Got Talent ever just about talent, or has it turned into a tear-jerking competition? In the early seasons of AGT, it felt that the way singers, dancers, inventors, even oddball acts got their shot, and pure skills actually mattered. But then something changed. Contestants with emotional backstories started getting more screen time and even priority over technically stronger performers. From outstanding acts to emotional damage. This is how America's Got Talent became a sob story competition. At the beginning, America's Got Talent was all about showing off a wide mix of skills. Early winners included people like bird trainers and magicians, and they were praised for being truly unique. But around the mid-2020s, people started to notice a shift in the show's style. Instead of just showing the talent, auditions started to focus more on the contestants' personal problems, like illnesses, losses, or hard times, before they even performed. The judges and producers realized that emotional stories got more attention from viewers. As one longtime fan said on Reddit, "So many people with distinct and obvious talent have been thrown away and replaced by people with sad stories." It started to feel like AGT cared more about what someone had been through than what they could do. People who might not have stood out based on talent alone were suddenly liked more because they shared their emotional stories. Judges now often praise people for being brave and open. Some say producers even help shape these sad stories. One fan who claimed to be an insider said contestants are pushed to have a tearful story and are even told how to talk about their struggles. That person also said a contestant they knew was frustrated when producers insisted they share a sad backstory. Simon Cowell was reportedly annoyed when that contestant didn't want to go along with it. Behind the scenes, it seems that focusing on emotional stories is no secret. Another fan wrote that AGT is majorly staged, with storylines made just to boost TV ratings. From this point of view, AGT works like many other reality shows. Producers pick the most touching stories and make sure they get the spotlight. No matter what happens behind the scenes, what we see on screen is clear. Contestants who open up emotionally often get standing ovations, tears from the judges, and sometimes the golden buzzer, even if their talent isn't the strongest. AGT's golden buzzer moments, which send a performer straight to the live shows, clearly show how the show has changed. In season 16, Jane Markevsky, known by the name Nightbird, sang her original song It's Okay during her audition.
It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
She shared that she had stage 4 cancer and only a 2% chance of survival. Her performance, part emotional story, part gentle singing, made Simon Cowell cry. He hit the golden buzzer, saying he believed she could have reached the finals and maybe even won, if not for her illness. Her audition became famous. Her song hit #1 on iTunes overnight, and Simon later said he would have picked her as the winner if things were different. In just a few minutes, her heartbreaking story stole the spotlight even more than her singing. She left only because her health got worse, not because the judges voted her off. A similar moment happened in 2025 with Jordan Blue in season 20. He sang a powerful version of Break Even and won Howie Mandel's golden buzzer. His voice was strong, but his story made it even more powerful. He had survived a truck attack in New Orleans that killed people close to where he usually sang on the street. On stage, he got emotional remembering the horror, then used that pain to fuel his performance. Other recaps said the crowd was completely moved by both his voice and his story. Howie got up, hit the golden buzzer, and told Jordan, "Everyone watching is gonna know your name."
Young men are going to the stratosphere.
In that moment, his story and his talent were completely linked. Many viewers haven't stayed quiet about this trend. People online point to clear examples. In one audition, a father-daughter acrobat team doing amazing dangerous flips lost to a dancer whose video focused more on her personal pain than her dancing. Some fans joke in a dark way that the best way to win AGT is to get cancer. You'll have the upper edge. They feel that if someone is very talented but doesn't have a sad story, the judges might ignore them. One person wrote, "If you don't give them a story, you're gone. If your story isn't strong enough, they won't support you as much." Longtime fans say this kind of setup isn't new or only on AGT. Most reality shows love to focus on drama and emotional stories. But AGT seems to do it even more. Some people now joke that the show should be called America's Got Disabilities or America's Got Tragedy, because so much of the screen time goes to sad life stories instead of the actual performances. Even people who work in entertainment have noticed this. In August 2021, one AGT fan forum kept track of how many contestants that season had clear sob stories. They said there were fewer that year, which made some people think the producers were trying to pull back after complaints. But by the time 2023 to 2025 came around, many fans said it felt like the sad stories were back in full force. Sebastian and Sonia, a dance duo whose story involved a tragic accident while practicing. Simon later said he didn't always get the act, but their story touched him deeply. Moments like this send a clear message to viewers. Showing emotion and pain on stage often leads to rewards, sometimes more than talent alone. What part do the show's creators play in all this? Like other reality shows, AGT is carefully edited to create drama. That's no accident. According to insiders and commentators, producers look closely at contestants' life stories during early auditions. One person claimed that the people are asked a lot about their backgrounds and even given notes saying who has the best usable story. If someone doesn't share anything emotional, producers or judges may ask questions like, "Tell us something personal," which can lead to sad or touching stories being shared. Even Simon Cowell has said they like contestants to open up. After one audition, he joked, "You barely sang a note," because he was so focused on their personal story. Some former contestants have spoken out about how things work behind the scenes. One said in an interview that producers and judges are extra kind when someone shares something emotional. It makes them more supportive, but if a contestant doesn't have a strong backstory, they might be ignored. As one fan put it, talented acts like acrobats or musicians often lose screen time to people with emotional stories that grab attention. The voting system also raises concerns. In theory, AGT's live shows are decided by viewers' votes, but many fans don't trust that. A common theory, shared in fan forums and by TV critics, is that producers have a lot of control over who moves forward. Judges' buzzers and golden buzzers clearly steer attention. Even during the voting rounds, some believe producers still influence results. And also, the acts with the most YouTube views often don't match who actually wins the vote. That suggests the real winners might be chosen for their story or their impact on ratings, not just their skill. This new trend has created real winners and losers. On the winning side, many recent AGT champions have emotional or inspiring stories. For example, Dustin Tavella, who won season 16, is a talented magician, but his act focused heavily on his life as a father of 7 and his own health struggles as a child.
Can you please make sure that is an exact match?
That's exact. Look at you.
NBC Insider said he amazed audiences with both magic and his captivating stories, adding that he blended his tricks with touching personal moments that moved the judges. People loved his act, and he won the $1 million prize. But not everyone on that stage had a story like Dustin's. Aiden Bryant, a 17-year-old aerialist with jaw-dropping skills, came in second. Some critics felt he was actually the most talented performer that season. Simon Cowell later even called him one of the most talented contestants we've ever had. Aiden didn't win, and Simon admitted afterward that Aiden looked heartbroken. Many fans still see this as a clear example of story-beating skill. Aiden's raw talent lost out to Dustin's emotional story. Another strong contestant, Angelica Hale, had a similar experience in season 12. At just 10 years old, Angelica wowed judges with her voice and powerful story. She had survived kidney failure and got a transplant from her mom. She got the golden buzzer and made it to the finals, but lost to Darcy Lynn, a singing ventriloquist. Some fans felt Angelica's illness story was used a lot during the season, but it wasn't enough to carry her to first place. That showed stories alone don't always win. Talent and mass appeal still matter too. At the time, Reddit users pointed out that Darcy also had real skill, proving that the mix of talent and story isn't always predictable. In some recent cases, acts with clear talent but weaker stories felt left out. On Season 20, Sophie Dawsey, a top-tier contortionist who had placed second back in 2019, returned with stunning new moves. She impressed the judges but lost to Jordan Blue, a singer whose powerful backstory involved surviving a violent truck attack. Fans said Sophie's short mention of growing up poor didn't grab attention the same way, and many felt a performance-based act was pushed aside in favor of a more emotional one. Around the same time, Sal Valentinetti, a smooth Sinatra-style singer, was also passed over. Though he was charming and open about being gay, he didn't share any dramatic personal hardships and didn't advance far. This shift hasn't gone unnoticed. Memes and jokes now poke fun at how emotional the show has become. Some edits show golden buzzer moments set to sad music, as if they're therapy scenes.
You really think that this is going to impress us? I mean, like, can you do it?
Hashtags like AGTS Sob Stories and TikToks mocking the format, calling the show America's Got Sob Stories, have gone viral. One hit fan put it bluntly, that earlier there was almost no sob stories, but now every has to say how their fifth cousin died 20 years ago. It's funny, but it echoes a real frustration seen on Reddit and elsewhere. Even people outside the core fan base have noticed. Sports and entertainment blogs often point out how AGT's ratings jump after particularly emotional episodes. And mainstream coverage usually leads with the backstory, not the performance. After Jordan Blue got the golden buzzer, NBC's insider site ran the headline, "Street performer Jordan Blue stuns on AGT months after New Orleans truck attack." When remembering Nightbird, another piece read, "Brought to tears remembering his friend and golden buzzer, Nightbird." In both cases, the emotional angle was front and center. The focus on sad stories comes down to business. Emotional content keeps viewers watching and talking. Producers, Simon Cowell included, know that a contestant with a moving backstory grabs headlines and sparks reactions on social media. Their struggles often become the episode's focus. Even judges acknowledge it. Simon's tears during Nightbird's audition showed how deeply stories can affect them. Heidi Klum and Howie Mandel have also called emotional auditions the show's best moments. Today's AGT walks a fine line between heartwarming variety show and emotional showcase. The format clearly works. It's delivered some of the show's most unforgettable moments and gone viral worldwide. When an audition moves judges to tears or a contestant becomes a national symbol of resilience, it makes for powerful TV. But for fans who tune in for raw talent and creativity, it can feel more like a testimonial hour than a talent competition. Over time, America's Got Talent has shifted from spotlighting everyday skills to prioritizing emotional stories. Now, singers with personal tragedies, real or emphasized, often land more golden buzzers, while polished acts with no sob story fade into the background. For those without a dramatic backstory, impressing the judges takes near flawless execution. The new AGT rulebook seems to be that talent is required, but emotional resonance is what wins hearts. Or as one frustrated Redditor put it, "I DVR the show and refuse to watch any sob story, straight to the act." Many fans feel exactly the same. At the bottom, America's Got Talent still has some great performers, but if your story makes judges cry, you might have a better chance than someone who's trained for years. Some people think that makes the show more touching and inspiring, but others feel it's becoming less about talent and more about the drama. Let's conclude with your decision in the comments about whether AGT has lost its true purpose, or is this just what TV viewers want now? And if this peek behind the curtain surprised you, don't forget to like and subscribe for a free cookie.